Villains are the backbone of any great film. They challenge the hero and help drive our story forward. They really create a lot of memorable moments that audiences don't forget. But what is it about these movie and TV villains that really set them apart, that make them memorable? Let's take a closer look at some of the most iconic movie and television villains and some of their defining characteristics. A memorable villain must have a unique look and style. This really helps set them apart from the rest of the cast. When we look at characters like the Joker, it's his crazy clown makeup, Darth Vader, that all-black iconic helmet, his presence, Hannibal Lecter, that face mask that gives him that menacing, monster-like quality. Even go back to Disney classic movies, like Ursula, with her tentacles and that octopus. It was really a menacing figure. Or Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty, and her dramatic horns giving her this devilish-like figure and that cloak. Even if we go to characters that are less specific and have this monster-like quality to them, go to people like Hans Gruber. He's dressed in a suit, right? But what defines him is that he's separate from his grouping. That's how his character is defined. So all of these characters, one way or another, they have a look that helps define them and separate them from the rest of their counterparts. And from the TV side, look no further than Gus Fring, one of the best, if not the best, TV villain of all time. He has a very clean cut, very nuanced, understated look. He's extremely stoic, but deep down, he's this ruthless drug kingpin who will do anything to come out on top. And we see that throughout the course of the story, until he's ultimately bested by our anti-hero.
What else? I tell you.
All the great ones have it, but not all of them have to have one. But it does help us remember them. The Joker's
"Why so serious?"
became an ad slogan. And then Darth Vader's "I am your father" is probably one of the most iconic lines of all time. And it's not just these, cookie cutter comic book action hero sci-fi movies. We have our animated villains, Scar from The Lion King.
Long live the...
Don't worry, I hated the live action remake as much as you did.
This sucks.
And let's not forget about this iconic classic.
Magic mirror on the wall.
These words help cement these characters' legacies to us and help us remember them long after we've seen the movie or finished the TV show. And sometimes the villains don't have to say anything. It's their actions alone that speak for themselves. Perfect examples. Kevin Spacey in Seven. His John Doe character, while having a few lines, is really known for...
I saw you with the box. What was in the box?
And let's not forget about Robert Patrick's menacing performance as the T-1000 in Terminator 2. Pretty much said nothing the whole movie, but was one of the most terrifying figures I've ever seen on the big screen. But for me personally, the most memorable villains, they have a rich and complex personality. They're not just one-dimensional characters. They have compelling backstory. They have compelling motivation that makes them feel like real people. Take a look at Joaquin Phoenix and the Joker. I think it's easy for people to understand how someone can get to that point, perhaps not from a completely outside perspective, but seeing it, that slow descent into madness, it makes more sense how someone like the Joker, who seems so extreme, could potentially get to that point after seeing all the unfortunate things that had happened to him during his life. And in a lot of cases, sympathizing with him, all the way until we get to the end of our story, where obviously he goes off of the deep end and incites rioting, but that's another story. Our villains can be motivated by many different things: power, money, vengeance, or sometimes they just have an ideological perspective. Ergo, Thanos, probably one of the most recent, best examples of what a good, complex villain can be. And that's one of the tropes with Marvel characters, is that they make them likable to a degree, because their motivation, in many respects, you can understand their perspective. And that's what makes us, the audience, resonate with their characters and in almost some cases root for them. You can't tell me that there wasn't a group of people that were looking at Thanos and saying, well, he is right, technically. So it can really just add another layer for us, the viewer, to get that much more into the story. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe for more content.
What do you say? Till next time?